Go for launch. Yes, buddy. I probably should scoot up. Yes, a tad bit. We good. Let us know when you're in.
Yeah, we're good.
Oh, we in now?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. This is Robert B. Holman Jr. and Sean Appleton, and this is these two dudes. Now, we've got that. Yeah, we've been rolling. They caught all that. The people on the interweb caught that.
This is Moray Robert B. Holman Jr. and
Moray Sean Appleton.
this is Hebrews in Exile.
Yes, Hebrews in Exile.
Oh,
Them
we
guys.
we are definitely in exile.
Oh, yes. Yes. With your cousins, your
Man.
people.
Man. Politically
Yeah.
speaking, one of the most offensive things that I have seen in my days on this earth living in this country was the posting on social media of Obama and Michelle looking like monkeys.
Egregious. Mm-hmm.
And he put it out.
Yeah, and then I thought there was an explanation as to, well, I didn't know.
A staffer did it. No, the staffer was him.
Oh, okay. Wow. Horrible.
And so you come to understand in this month that's called Black History Month that we live in a nation with a leader who is racist to the bone that would post on this social media platform a picture of the 44th president?
The 44th.
44th president and his wife, Michelle and
Yeah,
Barack,
I think so, yeah.
looking like apes and monkeys.
Apes. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Somebody should have, because he has no
And
oversight.
then you ask the question about how can Scripture be talking about us?
How can it not be?
Or you depict it as being, that's not us.
Yeah.
I mean, Deuteronomy 28:15-69, you're saying that that's not
you.
you. That's not black. That's not the African American people.
Right.
That's not the Negro.
Right. Right.
When you see things like that.
Right.
And you read the text and he says, you will be hated.
Right. You'll become a laughing stock.
You will become a laughing stock.
Yeah, the what? You'll be the tail and not the head. And they say we fit all those categories. So on and so forth. There's
One
quite
of the
a few.
books that I'm reading talks about how the European writers have erased the ethnicity of Hebrew Israel out of thought and text that causes people to believe that the Hebrew text is filled with people that are not melanated people.
I wholeheartedly believe that narrative.
Well,
yeah.
Let me back this up. How can you celebrate Black History Month without including your ancestors?
You can't.
And by your ancestors, I'm talking about beyond Plymouth Rock.
There becomes the problem, right? Because our history for how it, I guess I perceive it for our people is our history starts at slavery. When we arrived here, we don't have any, we can go back, they have the ancestry.com thing and you can go back and see where you were in the continent, but
yeah, but I
we
mean,
don't talk about it.
That's not where our history begins.
That's correct. 100%.
I hear the words of Marvis Garvey say, a people without the knowledge of their past history, origin, and culture is like a tree without roots.
Absolutely.
Black History Month should be inclusive of not just the history that's germane to this exiled place where we have been deported to. We should be talking about two of the greatest men in our history. Father Abraham
and Moshe.
Yeah.
See, I was going to, where does Black history begin for you? Let's answer that question.
Black history begins for me when the Most High said he created man
there you go.
From the dust of the earth.
From the dust of the earth. I was going to say the same thing too.
That's where our history begins.
Right. That soil, that rich soil, yeah.
And everything that's connected to that beginning and where we are today is systemic within the confines of scriptural history and understanding of where the black man is in life today.
True.
So I celebrate my ancestors.
Could one say we celebrate our ancestors every single Shabbat?
Absolutely. Because you have to look at the fact that Abraham was a Hebrew. The text tells us he was.
Yep.
And the Hebrew people were melanated people.
Yes.
Much to the chagrin of the Eurocentrics who want to paint him as being a white man.
Right. That's wrong, but yeah. He's not that. He's not.
Well,
he's not white.
I mean, you think
Absolutely.
about this. How many black folks don't know
a lot
that their ancestors, Hebrew ancestors, were melanated people?
A lot.
Abraham was not white. Moses was not white.
Correct.
Jacob was not white.
And that's a tough pill for a lot of folks to
Isaac
swallow.
was not not white. The 12 Hebrew sons of Israel were not white people.
Now, see here, how do we get there? How do we get to that notion that they are that? And I would end up saying, okay, well, when we talk about, because the way the New Testament, if you will, where most of our people are, their minds are, when they think about, the people that are in what they call the Old Testament or the scriptures, they're referring to them folk that are over there with the black hats and the curly cues on the side of their head and whatnot. They associate that with the Ashkenazian, which is a lighter hued or white set of individuals. Right. They're Europeans.
They come from the Khazars.
Right.
They adopted the name Israel in the 6th or 8th century.
Right.
They are not Hebrew Israel.
Right. Because the way the text reads when it talks about this word Jews that are over there, instead of actually trying to associate it with the Hebrew people,
which is a purposeful trait of the Eurocentrics. The Eurocentrics write the text. When we read the text in the New Testament, they talk about the Jews. Well, that's purposeful because that lines up with their perspective on who Israel is.
Yes, absolutely. And that's where that misconception of what hue that actually is. But again, like you said.
And so when you're now when you're talking about it, our people say, well, I don't want to be Israel. Well, I can understand you not wanting to be Israel if that's your moniker.
Right.
Because Israel is not a European nation.
Correct. And that they never get brought that narrative.
No.
So they never look at it from, oh, this is, because I've had people, you know, in my mother and father's generation, when I share this information with, and I say, look at all these individual pieces that point back to the melanation of this particular people. When you're reading about that text that is over there and again, what you call the Old Testament, we call it the scriptures, the Hebrew text, it's talking about you. That's you that's sitting over there. I mean, and you lose this sense of pride that comes with being the Most High set apart treasure, set apart people. You lose all of that because you don't associate it yourself with it. So at the end of the day, you know,
I mean, here's what's happening historically, and here's what's happening this very day in relationship to the melanated man. This government that is in power today is doing their best to eradicate all black history.
Yeah, I heard about that they were trying to remove
Yes.
that history out of
Yes.
curriculum in schools.
Yes. Not only out of curriculum in schools, but they're moving it out of museums and particularly out of the national museums. He's taking it all out. Removing.
Just
He's
whitewashing it.
Just whitewashing it.
It's funny because this country was built on the backs of us. You don't have a...
Well, if we talk about how this country was built, we were the second oppressed people.
Okay, agreed.
The Chinese were the first oppressed people.
Could we say even before that, Native Americans that
Native Americans
were actually here? Yeah.
Yeah. So in celebrating this thing that's called Black History Month, in my mind, I have to go back and I have to get my ancestors. I have to bring all my ancestors forward and celebrate the greatness of Abraham, the greatness of Moshe, the greatness of the 12 sons of Israel, the greatness of the prophets. I have to celebrate them.
Yeah. Those are the patriarchs.
Because we stand on the backs of these great men, and in every church, in every synagogue, and in every place where there's worship going on, the mention of the history of those people are mentioned every week. Even if you don't know they're black, they are black, and you're celebrating them.
Yeah, absolutely. Every single week, yeah. You speak about the accomplishments, yeah.
Now, when we look at the horrendous suffering of the melanated man in exile, then we have to go back into text and allow text to talk to us about that suffering and that pain. And we don't have to go any further than that. I know we've already stated Deuteronomy 28, 15 through 69.
Yeah. Reads a laundry list of everything that's going to happen to you. And the issue there, if you would agree, is that those, I think people may be looking at that like, oh, this is a dispensation of time where all this stuff is going to be happening. Where I almost take a look at it as these curses, these things that are happening to Hebrew Israel are rolling out over the course of time. Like we're experiencing some of them now. Our ancestors experienced some of them before. I think there was one portion in there where it was talking about that there would be a point where Hebrew Israel would be at a point where the famine would be so great that they would have to, people would be eating their own children.
Yeah.
In there. And then we have points in text where I forget the name of the king. Maybe my more in the back will be able to help me out with it. There was a king that actually had to decide between two women.
Yeah.
He was walking on the wall one day and he saw this one woman came up and they had a dispute about this. And they were talking about, well, she needs to give me her kid so I can eat him and whatnot. So I'm kind of paraphrasing a little bit about that particular text. But all I'm saying here is that it shouldn't be looked upon as all this stuff is happening at one time. It's happening over the course of the Hebrew Israel's exile through the years. Yeah. So a lot of it we can speak to us, right now. But again, when you start adding up all these things that actually have happened to these people, there's no demographic of people that it fits it better than the melanated
The
person.
melanated person.
I couldn't say that, okay, any other group on earth has experienced what it to the letter what Deuteronomy 28 is talking about.
So, in text, and I know you know where there's some text that talks about it. I mean, we got Pincus.
Pincus, yep. You've got Pincus. You've got Shimshon, which is Samson, when it talks about the locks of his hair.
Yeah.
I thought there was one prophet, either Elijah or Elisha, that talked about his locks.
Yep.
You also have
We're the only people that can grow those.
Grow those, right? You've got a Moshe, who his second wife was an Ethiopian woman. She was a Cushite woman.
Right.
And they would have actually, when you, again, here's my biggest sell right here. When I go back to Egypt, like I say, my faith is built on there's that word faith. For all of y'all that's FTF, I taught on that before, but my faith is built on these core value issues that are quantifiable. One, can I see that the Most High has made everything? Two, which I can. Two, if I go to Egypt right now, I can see your ancestors and what they did in Egypt right now.
Right.
With them clay bricks
Right.
and that straw. And I can see their legacy that was written on the walls in Egypt. And I don't see no melanated folk in there. So if these Hebrews were there, it kind of depicts who they actually were as they're coming out. So yeah, Pincus, Shimshon, Moshe's wife. When we get into what we're reading now, when we open up in Song of Solomon, it's talks about my skin is dark as tan.
I got it up right here.
No, you got. Let's go there. Let's see what you got. Song of Solomon. What is it? 1?
1.
Okay.
Who
I should know where
who
that is.
who is the writing to and who is the writing about? It's about the Most High and His people.
Mm-hmm.
The she, the him.
Mm-hmm.
The ultimate song of slow-mo. She. Let him smother me with kisses from his mouth. For your love is better than wine. Your anointing oils have a wonderful fragrance. Your name is like anointing oil poured out. This is why young women love you. Take me with you. We will run after you. The king has brought me into his room.
Mm-hmm.
That's Israel talking about the Most High. The chorus, we will be glad and rejoice for you. We will praise your love more than wine. How right is it for them to love you?
Here comes
the verse.
Yeah, here we go.
She, what does she say? She says, Israel says, I am dark tan but beautiful. I am dark tan but beautiful.
Mm-hmm. Awesome.
I mean, when you look at Israel in the eyes of the Most High, you have to be concerned about how he sees Israel in his eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go to is it Ezekiel?
Yeah.
I think I want to go to Ezekiel.
And while you're doing that, I want to point out, I don't believe why I even missed this guy when we're talking about melanation.
Mm-hmm.
I'm missing the most famous one, Adam.
Right.
What was he made from? He was made from the dust of the ground. I don't know any other color the dust of the ground is other than brown.
Right. Right.
And you can trace Adam's lineage all the way down through, Shem and Noach and all those people, and they would have carried that. So go to the beginning.
When we talk about how beautiful, she says in Solomon, I'm black, I'm beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
You have to see how the Most High sees Israel in his mind from the inception.
Okay.
And in order to see how the Most High sees Israel from the deception, we have to go to Ezekiel.
Okay. Where we at in Ezekiel?
Chapter 16.
16. All right. It's a good spot. Ezekiel 16.
Verse 3.
3. All right.
Say that Yahweh Elohim is telling Jerusalem by origin and birth, you are of the land of Canaani. Your father was an Emori and your mother was a Hittite. And as for your birth, on the day that you were born, nobody cut your umbilical cord, washed you in water to clean you off, rubbed salt on you, or wrapped you in cloth. No one seeing you had enough pity on you to do any of these things for you. No one had any compassion on you. Instead, you were thrown into the open field in your own filth on the day that you were born.
Mm-hmm.
This is a narrative of the birth of the nation of Hebrew Israel.
Yeah.
But you got to hear how the Most is talking about it.
Okay.
I passed by and I saw you there walling in your own blood. As you lay there in your blood, I said to you, live. Yes, I said to you, as you lay in your blood, live. I will increase your numbers just like plants growing in the field, and you will increase. You develop. Listen to what he's going to say. You develop. Now he's getting into descriptive language.
Mm-hmm.
You developed. You reached puberty. Your breast appeared, and your hair grew long, but you were naked and exposed. I passed by you and I looked and I saw you there, that the time had come, the time for love. So I spread my cloak over you to cover your private parts and entered into a covenant with you, says Yahweh Elohim, and you became mine. Now, you have to,
Yeah.
you have to listen to the language
Yeah.
as he talks about this beautiful woman of a nation that's talked about in the book of Solomon as he describes the birthing of a nation and how he sees her.
Okay.
A relationship, a marriage is not a marriage until the marriage is consummated.
100%.
Listen to what the Most High says as he consummates this marriage.
Okay.
I passed by you. I looked at you and saw that your time had come for love. Let's make love. That's what he's saying. Let's make love.
Mm-hmm.
So what did I do? I did what every individual does that has any sense of a coitus relationship.
Mm-hmm.
I spread my cloak over you to cover your private parts, and I entered into a covenant with you.
Mm-hmm.
Dissect that. Dissect that. What's he really what's he really saying? I threw my cloak over you and we became intimate.
Mm-hmm.
That's a marriage.
Yeah.
Now, what is the mitzvah that follows intercourse? When you have intercourse with somebody, or your semen is spilt, what do you have to do?
Wash.
What's the next word? Then I bathed you in water.
Someone's being consistent.
I washed the blood off of you, meaning that he had broken the hymen of Hebrew Israel.
Right. Yeah. They had not had any other Elohim, and the Most High has established you were a virgin. This is what this is.
That's what it's about.
That's what it's about. Yeah.
And I washed the blood off of you, and I anointed you with oil. Also, I clothed you with an embroidered gown and gave you fine leather sandals to wear. I put fine linen headband on your head and covered you with silk. I gave you jewelry to wear, bracelets for your hands, a necklace for your neck, a ring for your nose, earrings for your ears, and a beautiful crown for your head. Thus, you are decked out in gold and silver. Your clothing was of fine linen, silk, richly embroidered cloth. You ate the finest flour, honey, and olive oil. You grew increasingly beautiful. You were fit to be queen. Your fame spread among the nations because of your beauty, because it was perfect, due to my having bestowed my own splendor on you, says Yahweh. There is another beautiful passage in text that describes a relationship and a love relationship than this particular passage here in Ezekiel chapter 16.
Mm-hmm. I don't even want to ruin the moment by making this comment, because you made me chuckle while you were reading that. Had we have known what this was really talking about when we was back there across the street, they wouldn't have been coming there and saying, part of your holiness is not you wearing any earrings and gold and all that stuff.
Exactly.
Like you're stripping
you're stripping the beauty that the Most High has given to me. He bestowed it up on his wife that he marries here.
Right.
I looked at you. You were beautiful. I can't get over it. The time had come for love. I've been watching you. I've watched you grow.
Mm-hmm.
I've watched you reach puberty.
Mm-hmm.
Your breast appeared. Your hair grew long. And you were naked before me and exposed. Oh, my goodness.
See, you know what? Now that we're pontificating about this, I'm going to go back to 8.
Oh, my goodness.
See, this is interesting because, again, if I go back to 8, it says, again, I passed by you, looked at you, and saw that you had sighed that your time had come, the time for love. I spread my cloak over you to cover your private parts.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm covering you in the sense that wherever you're vulnerable, I'm covering all that up. And I entered into a covenant with you. Now, where is the covenant in Hebrew Israel? It's in your flesh.
It's in your flesh.
Because that's where the Most High put that covenant between
the man and the woman. And the man had to be circumcised.
That's right.
The blood covenant.
That's right. So I love the illustration of the imagery of the word that the prophet is saying here, because it's very much. See, again, we can appreciate it because we're pulling mitzvot right out of it. So what did you say? Okay, well, the next thing you got to do is what? Wash.
You got to wash.
So this is mitzvot heavy in here, just in its explanation, its description.
So we know in the description of the relationship that he's having with Israel, he's being intimate to the point.
Mm-hmm.
She's a virgin. He's broken the hymen. The blood has come. Now he has to wash her. There's a mitzvot that covers that.
Very consistent.
And beautiful. And how beautiful Israel is.
Mm-hmm.
You see, when we talk about black history, because our people are not astute in the fundamentals of Hebrew Israel, they don't realize the position that they have in the world, even though in this exile they're hated or despised, yet and still the mercy and the grace of the Most High is extended toward us to prove to anybody how great we are. I mean, if I go into the annals of the inventions of the black man in society, the contribution of the black man in society is overwhelming.
Yeah.
There isn't anything that you can touch that doesn't have the hand of the melanated man on it in its inception.
Yeah.
And while it is that you Europeans have stripped it away, doesn't negate the fact that its origin comes from the mindset of the man who was created by the Most High, who carries the creative DNA of his father. We carry the creative DNA of our Father. What did our Father do? Our Father created the heavens and the earth and everything that's in. Then he created us, put his creative DNA in us, and put us out there, and we have been the creative mindset that has made society and the world what it is.
True, very true. In every area,
You can't enjoy HVC without understanding that it was the hand of a black man who created air conditioning and heating. You can't go to the hospital and have a heart surgery without understanding it was a black plumber who created the technology that's brought about this whole thing that causes you to live.
You can't be safe in your house.
You can't be safe in your house without understanding that it was a black woman who brought about home security. You can't travel and turn on your phone and use the GPS without understanding it was a black woman who orchestrated and brought into existence GPS. You can't turn on your computer without understanding that it's the hand of a black man and the mind of a black man that has orchestrated this instrument and brought it into existence. You can't pick up your cell phone without understanding the origin of its inception is the mind child of a black man.
Mm-hmm. Some of those greatest figures, you're talking about creative genius. Some of the greatest figures that have impacted the entire world have been black folks, especially, we can talk about our dispensation of time when you think about just cultural arts and when you think about the things that we've been able to achieve, the highest level, the first woman vice president was a
black woman.
When you see all these inroads that have happened, I mean, I don't know one city in the United States that doesn't have an MLK.
Yeah.
There's so many things that are contributions that we've made. And here's the thing, I'm going to ask you this too. Our perception of ourselves, this is kind of cathartic. Our perception of ourselves here within the intercontinental United States is different than what other people perceive us as when we leave the United States. And I'm talking about really the African-American man from the United States. Like when we get out of the country, do you think we're more celebrated when we get out of the country? We see other places and other cultures see us and they're like, oh, okay.
Yeah. I mean, I've been to. I think that having gone to the continent of Africa, we're more celebrated in our own land than we are in this exile.
Yeah. And I think that kind of adds to our, our insecurity of our, our elegance.
You see, it has been the mindset of the Europeans because they have this agenda. They're narcissistic in thought, and they don't want to be thought of as being second-class citizens, but they are. They don't understand, nor do they want to hear. And I like to tell Agent Orange, you don't get here without me.
That's a good point.
You don't become who you are without the bloodline and without the inception of the man from the dust of the dirt. And every man comes from that place. And that dirt ain't white, and it's not pink
Or orange.
or orange. You don't
Or
you,
Cheeto dust.
you don't come into existence without the black man that was created by the Most High from the dust of the ground. You don't get here. We can create other ethnicity of people, but
they
other
can't create
ethnicity
us.
of people cannot create us. We are
That's a fact.
we are scientifically the majority in the world.
Right. I think it's like 2/3 of the earth are melanated
Yes.
people.
Yes.
Which we don't experience that because we're
Now-
a part of the one.
Now we suffer. We suffer the injustices that we suffer, and we've lost our sense of complete harmonious genius because we have rejected the ways of the Most High. And we've been browbeaten, beat down, and to use the words, only the strong survive.
That's true. True. Very true.
But in the words of Maya Angelou, when I look at the melanated man in the midst of all that he has gone through in the world, not just America, in the world, I use her words.
And yet,
we stand, or yet we rise. The greatest fear in the world is the putting down of the Muslim nation, which is also a melanated man.
true. 100%.
And you know why the greatest fear is?
Why is that?
Is because it is the melanated man who continues to procreate. He's like the rabbit. He will outbirth you. And the fear of the nations is the same fear that Paro had of the Hebrew Israelites in Egypt.
You'll come too great.
You will become too great,
Yeah. So
and you'll outnumber us.
So we got to control you.
See, and that's because the Caucasian race of people are not having children like we have children.
Yeah, I think I heard a report on that. Yeah.
So the ratio can become higher to the point where we outnumber them. And in some nations, the melanated man has outnumbered the people of the nation. In some European nations, the melanated man is a much larger race of people than their European counterparts.
Wow.
So when I stop and think about Black history for me is more than what has taken place in slavery and coming out of slavery in this United States. It's a compilation of a complete story.
Right. Yeah.
Of who we are in the world. In the world. You want to be like us, but you don't want to suffer like us. You want our melanin look, so you get a suntan to get this brown hue to look like us. You go in and you get what's that surgery you have? You get your lips puffed up, so you make your lips like us.
Botox?
Botox. Make your lips like us.
Oh, yeah. Not.
You want a booty like us.
I'm not approving
And-
this message
and-
of your mores getting ready to go down this road.
And in turn, because we've lost our identity, we want to be like you. So we process our hair, make our hair slick like yours, and we got this reverse. You want to be like us, and we want to be like you. Because we've lost the identity of who we are as a people in exile.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But I celebrate all of our people who have come to this point of wanting to identify. I mean, you got a little girl that's being kicked out of school because she got cornrows. Can't come to class because she got cornrows in her head. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah.
You know what? It's almost
You got little boys not being able to go to class because their hair is locked.
because it feels like a jealousy thing.
Because
can't do that
because it's something that's germane to black people, and we don't want to see your blackness around us.
That's all it can be.
That's all it is.
Yeah, but
Oh,
yeah,
yes.
if them same folks came in with, like you said, with the straightening of the hair and all that other stuff, that would have been perfectly
Yeah,
fine at the
yeah,
end of the day.
Yeah.
Crazy. You know, as we're bouncing around on different issues and kind of just glorifying our history, I would like to think that hopefully some people would understand that this should be a time where you're actually focusing on the things that are in the Hebrew text as far as history is concerned, because we've enumerated the fact that where actually black history actually starts, and what better place to kind of focus your attention is in these Hebrew scriptures, because they are you. You cannot make a connection. It's at some particular point, we went back and we looked at our ancestry. You're X amount of percent Nigerian,
Yep.
and I'm X amount of percent Kenyan. So there's a desire to get back to the root of things, which goes back to the Marcus Garvey quote, which this month should be celebrated in doing that. But you know what? It's going to end up happening.
Yeah.
They're going to go ahead, and our people, true to form, are going to go and praise this demigod across the street and make some type of analogy to make it about him, which is that's the egregious part.
Well, let's talk about that for a minute.
Okay?
Okay.
Shall we?
Yeah.
Please.
I mean, at least they'll be celebrating the melanated man.
That's true. If they believe in that, but hopefully they do.
I mean, if you understand that the demigod was born into a black family.
True.
Because Hebrew Israel is black.
Yeah, the black nativity.
And his responsibility was to his people
to save them or deliver them from their sins.
From their lawlessness.
Right. Which sin is defined as
Violation of the
lawlessness.
law.
Yep.
Yeah. So, I mean, as we look at Black History Month, for me, it's an overall systemic looking at the whole picture of realizing my roots, my origin, and my connection. As I've said before, I no longer see Abraham and Moshe and the prophet. I no longer see them as a story that's been told. I see it as part of a biography of the history of my people.
Right.
I'm connected to them.
Right.
I'm connected to them in a way that I understand the emotions of Jeremiah when he's called the weeping prophet. Because I understand how it is that he looks at his people and is brought to tears because of their defiance and their reluctance to adhere to the ways of the Most High. And he sees the suffering that the Most High and the judgment that the Most High has placed upon them because they want to be like the other nations.
Yeah. 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 I want to take a second and make an observation. Okay? Finish this. I'm going to start it. Finish it. Please.
So, with understanding who I'm connected to and realizing and seeing the suffering and knowing, I know if that scene, the scene in Malcolm X,
Yeah.
where he goes down to the jailhouse.
Yeah, and he does this thing.
He says that's too much power for one man.
Right. Right.
If Hebrew Israel would get their head out of the sand, even in this exile, there is no power that could stand against the force of her if she was walking in right standing with the Most High, even in this exile. There is no power that could stand against it. The Most High would fight for her.
Right. Yeah. Let me go get her. She's ready.
And then we could say from the text of the prophet, no weapon
formed against shall.
But we can't do that because we're in this exile and we're fragmented in understanding and knowledge. We don't know who we are, and we don't know how. We got this crab syndrome. We don't know how to put it together as a whole and become one with the Most High.
Yeah. 100%.
And then you're going to tell me that you love him, but you won't do a thing he says to do.
Yeah, figure that one out.
So now I have to ask a question. Who is it you love? Do you love God, who is Jesus Christ? Or do you love
speaking for
the
them,
absolute all-existent power, which is a spirit that has created all things, who has a name that he spoke to Hebrew Israel? Go tell Hebrew Israel, Iye Asher Iye, I am that I am. And this is how I shall be remembered throughout all generation. Yod He Vav He is my name. I'm Yahweh. I'm El. I'm the sole power. If our people would only understand that this is the source. Man, do you realize? Do you realize? You know what I think would happen? You know what I think would happen?
What's that?
Most High wouldn't even let us stay here. Exile, the redemption would happen immediately.
Immediately?
We'd be back in the land.
Wouldn't have to worry about.
We'd be this exile would be over. We'd be back in the land.
I like that. Yeah. Can I make an observation?
Sure. You're just talking.
I want to be very specific when I say this. That's why please finish this thought if I'm missing something. When we look at the Hebrew text, now I know we've been very, what's the word I want to use? We have a fervor.
Oh, absolutely.
For the Hebrew text, for the Most High, and for the Most High's people. We built, as we said before, there are 4 tenets within the text that talks about a set apart land, set apart people, set apart mitzvot, for a set apart Elohim. That's what the whole entire Hebrew text is about. But we've been adamant this evening talking about melanation.
Yes.
I want to be maybe a little specific and say melanation as a indicator of the people that we're talking about, because text never talks about color.
No, it doesn't.
It talks about nations
right.
of people.
Yes.
So how do we identify Hebrew Israel is through these indicators and prerequisites and context that we're seeing in the text that talks about they are a melanated group of people. That's how we kind of get to that. Am I on good ground by making that statement?
No, you're on good ground.
Okay.
Here's the problem. In this exile, we know that the foundation of Hebrew Israel through Father Abraham being a Hebrew, we know that the origin of mankind and everything written about man, including the deluge, is all about people that were made from the dust of the ground. The Most High says to Father Abraham, you shall be, your nation shall be as the sand of the sea and the stars
In the sky, yeah.
in the sky. That's large. That's you can't count
that, yeah.
The only one who knows that number is the Most High.
Yes.
So how does that prophetic word to Father Abraham come into existence if there's no exile?
Right.
So now we have
Yeah, when you think about it, yeah.
we have Israel exiled out of the land into the four corners of the world, for which we know historically by the verbiage of Balak.
That I am not a man.
No,
Then we went to
Balak. Balak said to the king, don't worry about. Yeah, I'm paraphrasing. Don't worry about Israel. Israel will marry your daughters, and your daughters will marry their sons.
Yeah. That's the same piece. Yeah, send them down there. They'll intermingle with them.
So the issue is in this exile, Israel has procreated
With the nations.
with the nations, which makes them carry the Hebrew blood. So, which is my argument that says, you can't tell me when a person comes into my congregation, I don't know what their bloodline is. Hebrew Israel's all over the place.
That's true. That's true.
She's procreated.
Quite a bit.
Yes, what she does.
That's what she does. She does best. If she don't do nothing else, she don't follow the mitzvahs good, she will do that.
So the heart of a person, irrespective of their color or their ethnicity, see, because you don't know the complete origin of your ethnicity because it's all over the place.
Oh, that's easily provable. You got the receipts for that. When you got your little pie chart back and said what you were,
It's all over the place.
It's not one monolithic
No,
piece.
It's all over the place.
Yeah. So
I mean, the Most High, he talks about a nation of people, and that's the reason why I believe he's given us Numbers 15:15. There shall be one Torah for you pure Hebrew Israelite, and for the foreigner living with you. Because the foreigner living with you is probably has some of your blood in them.
just saying.
I'm just saying. I mean, and when you look at the chart, when you look at the chart that describes the distribution of Hebrew Israel in the transatlantic slave trade, we've got back in the origin,
millions.
you've got 55.9 million in Brazil that went to Brazil.
Now that would have been where the biggest would have went, right?
Yep.
Okay.
You've got 46.4 million in the United States. You've got 10.1 million in Haiti. You've got 9.2 million in the Dominican Republic. You've got 4.9 million in Colombia. You've got you've got 3.8 million in France. You've got 3.2 million in Brazil, in Venezuela. You've got 2.8 million in Jamaica. You've got 2.5 million in the United Kingdom and 1.4 in Mexico. That's the startup. That those are the numbers
Where we start.
that started,
Okay.
that came out through the transatlantic slave trade. This is where the numbers of those of our people have landed. So we're spread out into the four corners of the earth. And in the four corners of the earth, we appropriate it with the people of that of those nations. So when you see a Brazilian, you go, they're,
I can see it, yeah.
my housekeepers, the people that clean my house, they're Brazilian, and they tell me, say, you're my brother.
They're about as dark as
No, they're
me?
not.
They're not?
No, they're kind of they're high yellow.
They speak Portuguese. From the Brazil, that's what they speak in
Yeah.
Brazil, is Portuguese.
Yeah.
Wow. And
Yeah.
they, because they have, obviously, because they have a lot of African Americans that landed there.
Yeah.
For good reason. That's why
Yeah.
they say that.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So I mean, we have to look at our people.
I said African Americans, Africans that went
Yeah.
there. Not
We have to
African
look at our
Americans.
people beyond the borders of this nation that we live in.
Mm-hmm.
We're only the second largest.
That says a lot. And the reason why I'm saying that is because you said something earlier about, the survival of the fittest, strong
Yeah.
survive, because we're the ancestry of those who actually made it,
Yes.
who didn't become fish food
Yes. Yes.
on the side of the boat or died on the boat
Yeah,
on the way over here.
We are part of the exiled people who made it through to this point, even through the hardships of the slavery oppressions, the work of the Ku Klux Klan, the work of the Europeans who came here voluntarily, and want to talk about. I watched this movie. I watched this movie called The Warrior, and The Warrior is about the Chinese coming to America, and the story unfolds in San Francisco.
Yeah. Yep. A lot of history there.
And I'm listening to watch this movie, and I'm going like, this is the same narrative that we're living through now. And the fight was between the Irish, talking about, this is their country, this is our country. You Chinese don't belong here. This is our. I'm thinking, what the heck? You came from Ireland here. How you gonna make this your country? You wasn't born here.
It's like I walked in your house
Yeah.
and said, "This is my house."
And you mad? You mad because the Chinese will work cheaper than you work, which is the same thing that we're doing now. The Mexicans will work cheaper than you people will, and you want to destroy them and kick them. It's the same narrative. This ain't your nation. Y'all stole America.
That's true.
You stole America.
100%.
Talking about this is our nation. No, this is not your nation. You came here from a foreign place.
That's why they call you
We
Irish.
and you came voluntarily. We were brought here on slave ships. We were happy in our own land.
Mm-hmm.
For which most people don't know. There's the Ivory Coast, the Gold Coast, and there's the Slave Coast.
Yep.
You don't hear about the Slave Coast. The Slave Coast is further into the interior of the eastern part of Africa. So it is that when people are trying to trace their ancestry back, they stop at Ghana. Ghana is not the place. Ghana was the place that they brought you to from where you were. It was the holding place before you. It was called the last stop.
That's where you got dispersed.
That's where
you got loaded up as cargo and put on the boat. But that was you. Okay.
You came from deeper in. You came from deeper in the continent of Africa. So when you're trying to trace your ancestry back to because you don't understand the slave coast, you're stopped at a point of trying to go further because you don't understand. Your ancestors didn't come from Ghana; they came from further deeper into Africa.
Yeah, yeah. And you know what's interesting about that narrative as well, to kind of piggyback, just a little nerdy information on that, is when we study that slave coast, we also have to understand that our ancestors, some of our ancestors was in on selling us into slavery, because you had to have come, because when you see it, there's castles that are built there and holding cells and whatnot. You think they just did that, and the Ghanaians were there and they're just like, oh sure, just come in here, just make these castles for human trafficking.
Okay, but now that follows historical narrative text of Israel. The Most High, and I don't know exactly where in text it is, but as you read text, you will find that the Most High chastises Israel because of how Israel is treating Israel. Israel's blood's on Israel's hands. He talks about it in text. So historically, it becomes a what I want to use. It becomes part of the
foreshadowing
or the narrative of who Israel really is. I mean, what did Dan do? I mean, the Most High chastised Dan because Dan's job was to hold up the rear guard, and man, he wasn't doing nothing while Nebuchadnezzar and them was taking Israel into captivity, but helping them.
Right.
So I mean, there's a lot of history that we need to understand about our people. Now, however, I'm going to say this as we close out tonight. We talk about a lot of history concerning Hebrew Israel and the narratives and things that have brought us to this point of exile. And in our teachings and things, the central thing now to understand, setting all the history aside, there's only one thing that's principle for understanding. You forsook the Most High.
There you go.
You abdicated his mitzvot and his rules.
There you go.
So the narrative of thought now is, how do I get back in right relationship with the Most High? That's the theme, that's the subject, that's the matter at hand. Because that matter right there is the matter that defines your eternal existence in life, in this world and the world to come. The history doesn't matter. The historical fact is that you abdicated the Most High. You wanted to be like other nations. You forsook his rules and his regulations and his teachings, being like them. Now the question is, how do I get back to where I'm supposed to be? If I want to get back. And if you don't want to get back, it's okay. It's okay. You got to realize, while we talk about the redemption out of Egypt, the Most High bringing Israel out of Egypt, you got to realize all of Hebrew Israel didn't come out of Egypt.
Nope, they sure didn't.
They liked it there. It's okay.
Stay behind, yep.
You can stay here. I'm going to destroy you, but you can stay here.
Right, 100%.
And in the end of days, you have to realize that that I've come to this position. As I told somebody I was talking to, I said, I get it now. I get it now. You have the right to be what you are. You have the right to choose between good and evil. And while you think you've chosen good, you've chosen evil. And that's your right to do that. It's your right. If you want to be a Christian, it's okay. Go be a Christian. I am not trying to persuade you. I'm only trying to tell you what truth is. You can accept it or you can reject it. I'm only doing what the prophets did. I'm only trying to show you the difference between what is right and what is wrong. But it's okay.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to be that, then go be that.
Say that part one more time. You making good to be what? What did you just say?
You make good.
Yeah.
You make evil to be good because you don't know evil is bad. You're making a choice. Let's go. If we go back, you remember in text when the Most High brought Israel down between those two mountains, Mount Exile and Mount
Gizarim.
Gizarim. I think Gizarim was the mountain that was green.
That one had the blessings on it. Mount Exile had the ones with the curses.
Exile had the one with the curses. So the Most High has brought you to a place where you can make a choice to choose.
Yeah.
And if you want to choose Mount Exile, okay, do that. It's barren. It's not good. But you've chosen it thinking that it's good. It's not good. You've chosen Christianity thinking that it's good, but it's not good. And if that's your choice, okay, do that. Be that.
See, you know what brought the reason I'm smiling like a Chester cat over here is because when you said it and I had you repeat it, is because that sounds like to me what happened at the very beginning. What did the serpent tell Eve? She said, hey, listen, he was cunning. He was trying to make what seemed to be a prohibition. You could go ahead and do it.
You can go ahead and do it. Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead and switch in the narrative so it's casting doubt in that mind of hers. But at the end of the day, what ended up happening was the Most High gave them a commandment, and they didn't follow the commandment because they had someone come in or this serpent come in and say, you know what, and start giving them a different narrative that says, well, it doesn't really say this. So it really is actually good for you at the end of the day.
Right.
Well, it sounds like the same thing that's happening to us right now.
Exactly. I mean, listen. I am going to take a page out of their text.
Okay. I got my seatbelt on.
He that hath an ear
to hear,
let him hear what the set-apart Spirit has to say. Not what the Lord has to say, but what Elohim, Yahweh, has to say. Let him hear what he has to say. And if you don't want to hear that, it's okay. You don't have to. I've got all the prophets who spoke to Israel who didn't want to hear. It's okay. You're just following a continual narrative that is apropos for people who are Hebrew Israel. Your problem is you suffer from the same systemic problem that Israel suffered. Israel was born in slavery. They were born in Egypt. They were born in idolatry. You have been born in idolatry.
100%.
So you've accepted the narrative of your birth.
Yeah.
But you have to hear what the Spirit is saying, and the Spirit is saying to come out from
among them.
That's in your text. But you don't know who the come out from among them he's talking about is. Because you don't know the foundation of the Hebrew text from which that the Greeks have stolen that context and put it in there. You don't know that.
Which is weird because they never consider that the thing that they're in is the thing that they need to come out of.
You don't realize when I tell you historically and scripturally that sun worship, going to worship and pay homage to a demigod on Sunday, is Mithraism. It is the worship of the sun. It is not the word, and I don't mean S-O-N, I mean
S-U-N.
S-U-N.
Right.
It is the worship of the Son, and it's idolatry. You don't know that because you don't understand the foundation, you don't understand the origin from which it comes, and you don't understand the perpetrator who has done it to you. You don't know anything about the history of Constantine. You don't know nothing about, oh, Constantine, he founded our church. He loved, no, 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 no. Constantine did a Rodney King thing. Can't we all get along?
Right. Yeah, that was his whole entire aim.
He formulated and brought together all the religions of the time that he was the ruler of under one house, and he formulated this thing that's called Christianity. It has nothing at all to do with the Most High. The Most High does not sign off on that.
Right.
Nowhere.
Yeah. He never signed.
Tell me in the Hebrew, in that Greek text, where he says, and then they will know that I am Yahweh, or I am the Lord, or whatever term they use, where I because if I'm reading the Greek translation of the Old Testament, because they've taken the Father's name out of it, you read the text where it says, when he says, well, then they will know that I am Yahweh, their text says, well, then they will know that I am the Lord. Well, if I go across the street, there's no text over there where it says, well, then they will know that I am the Lord.
Right, correct. He never signs off
He
on
never
anything.
signs off on anything.
Yep. What happens over there is what they've kind of failed to see, which we brought up before, which is the issue of they have this demigod that's over there, whom they don't listen to, by the way.
They don't listen.
Because he can tell you emphatically how to get eternal life, and you will not listen to him. So they like the idea of JC, but they believe in Paul. But if you understood who Paul was and how Paul writes, see, we're talking about that. Me and the Morway we're talking to an individual that attended the congregation this past Shabbat, and we said something similar to that. It said you cannot understand what's going on over there in that New Testament unless you go back and you get the history and you learn it here. And I'm going to tell you, if you actually started at the beginning and read forward, by the time you got to Matthew, you probably wouldn't believe a thing that's over there. But if you go and look at like you're doing, I think you're doing this in the book, which is exhuming all of these texts or portions of text, not all of them maybe,
that are misrepresented.
That are misrepresented because you're reading Paul, and Paul sounds like a Hebrew until he gets to these little pieces where he's like, a Hebrew wouldn't say that, and that's contradictory to what's going on. Okay. So you know there's an interjection that's there.
Quit beating up on my man.
On Paul?
Yeah.
Well, all I'm trying to say is they believe in Paul.
Well, here's the thing.
But they don't believe in Christ.
But this is the reason I say this, okay?
No, let me say this. Christ is the conduit upon which their eternal salvation is met. They could care less about what Christ says at the end of the day. What they care about is what Paul says about him.
Let me reshape this for you.
Okay.
What they care about is what somebody said Paul wrote and said.
There you go.
Which Paul did not say.
Right. Thank you for cleaning that up. Yeah. Because that's what I'm not saying.
And the reason why.
Right, okay.
The reason why I say that is because it is impossible for
Paul,
Paul to have this saying in Acts. I've said it before. I'm going to say
Acts
it again.
24 and
14.
Yep, that's where we're going.
It is impossible for Paul to have this narrative, okay?
Mm-hmm.
That he says here.
But this, yep.
And then say in Galatians something that I'm going to quote.
Okay.
Here's what Paul says. But this I do admit to you, I worship the Elohim of our fathers. The Elohim of our fathers is Yahweh.
Correct.
In accordance with the way which they call a sect. Now, the word way goes back to the narrative where the Most High says, I have given you a way. I've given you this. I've given you. I'm trying to think of it now. Oh, no. This shall be life to you. This. I can't think the narrative that where you use the word way.
Mm-hmm.
But the way is the teachings and the rulings of the Most High. I continue to believe everything that accords with the Torah/law, but put it in because your Bible's going to say law.
Mm-hmm.
Everything written in the prophets. You can't make that statement.
Yeah.
And then go off the rail and then say, if I build again those things which I tear down, I make myself a transgressor in Galatians.
Right.
Because he's telling you right here, I believe this.
Mm-hmm.
So if he's telling you this, that I believe this, then everything else that they say he said
makes
contradicts this.
Yep.
So you know, now I've said this before, as we did the study in the first 2 chapters of Romans.
Mm-hmm.
You can't have Paul's testimony and his writings in Romans 1 and 2,
mm-hmm.
and then he gets off the rail and he starts talking about stuff that doesn't meet up with what he's saying here, the foundation that he believes in. So we know who wrote the New Testament.
Yeah.
Did Hebrew people write it?
No.
Well, dadgummit. But
okay.
If the Hebrew people didn't write it, and the Europeans wrote it, and they have an agenda to promote their European God, Jesus, that violates the principles of what Paul said he believes in, you got a spirit, you got the spirit, which is the Most High, impregnating
mm-hmm.
a woman who's married, betrothed to another man, and the law says that if a woman is betrothed to another man
and she's a virgin,
mm-hmm. Then they're to be put to death. He's violating his own law.
Correct.
So we know that this is a lie. So if they're lying on the Most High, what keeps them from lying on Paul?
Exactly. 100%. Say that part. Yep. Go ahead.
But you will listen to what they've wrote about Paul, not understanding that Constantine had a gentleman by the name of Eusebius, who is one of the writers and translators of the work of the New Testament, who did not like the law. He did not like the Torah. So he does everything he can to put it down. But you can't hear that and get to you see, you got me on a tangent now. You can't do that and get to Corinthians chapter 7, where he talks about circumcision means nothing, and uncircumcision means nothing, and you should come as you are. However, keeping the commandment is important. What are you saying, Paul? You're talking out of both sides of your mouth. You said that you underwent Brit Milah in the first day in your testimony in Philippians. So you know Brit Milah is part of the law requirement. Now you're going to tell me that it's not important, but keeping the commandment is? Come on, you all. Come on, keep up.
But see,
keep up. You can hear the ambiguity that's there.
Yeah. Yeah, the indecisiveness, the wishy-washy. Here, I want to go back to this part that you said, though. You said something in Galatians. He said, what? If I tear down the things that what?
If I tear down the things.
Yeah.
Which, now I forgot.
Where is it? Let's get it. Because I'm based on what you said.
If I build again the things that I have torn down, I make myself a transgressor.
Stop. If I build the things.
Again, the things
that I have torn down. Now let's stop.
Yeah.
Prior to Paul having his episode where he fell down and Yeshua apparently appeared to him, what was he tearing down? No, come on. I'm not letting you get out of that. What was he tearing down? He was tearing down Christianity.
Yeah.
Or he's not. it wasn't called Christianity then.
Yeah.
He was tearing down those individuals that were
Christians.
that were professed Christian, believing in Christ.
Yeah.
And then he says, if I tear down the things that
If I build
again the things that I've torn down, and I make myself a transgressor. So by way of his own mouth, he's saying I'm a transgressor.
Yeah.
Because I'm building the things that I was tearing down.
Yes. It contradicts itself. It's contradictory.
Now, again, I need to go over and look at it in its context, but it just sounds like to me he just shot his own argument in the foot.
It's contradictory. But you see, because we are, listen, this is Black History Month.
Yeah.
We don't want to hear what the blackness of Scripture has to say, and we accept the European whiteness of something that's not authored by any of our people.
Yeah. Right.
It's not authored by there's not a Hebrew author that has written this New Testament, and you want to call it the New Covenant? That's not the New Covenant. That's not what the Hebrew text is talking. And I'm going to give a renewed covenant. I'm going to write read the context of what he's talking about in the New Covenant. It's not germane to this period of time. I'm black and I'm proud.
Yes, you are. So am I. So am I.
I'm a Hebrew and I'm proud.
Absolutely. That's even better.
And I
That's
understand.
a booster shot
I
right
understand.
there.
I understand, and I know. I don't think I know. I know the Most High.
Yeah.
No. I know Him. I have reverence for Him.
Right.
I have respect for that spirit.
Right.
I don't play with that spirit.
100%.
What He said He will do, He will do. And if you keep playing with Him, He will wipe you smooth out, and you won't even know it came. And you won't even know why you're sick. You won't even know why you're in a state of dying. You won't even know why the calamities have come over you. And you're praying for Jesus to heal you, and He can't heal you because the Most High says, there is no one who can deliver you out of my hand. And you have fallen into the judgment of the Most High, and there's no answer for your judgment but to teshuvah, repent, and you don't even know what to repent for.
I'm sorry.
And He reigns on the just and the unjust alike.
Just alike.
You want to get healed, but you want to eat. You want to eat doggy doo-doo.
Doggy doo-doo.
You want to eat you want to violate the dietary laws of Leviticus chapter number 11. And then you want to violate the laws that are written in Bereshit
chapter number 1, verse 29.
You want to eat everything the Most High tells you not to eat. You get sick, and then you want Jesus to heal you. Well, He can't heal you, and the Most High certainly ain't.
Right.
Because you keep violating the things that He's telling you that's going to heal you. Come on, people.
It's just... Yeah,
it's a snowball.
Yeah, really. Really. You get it right
But
from
you
the
see,
start.
you see, my blackness in celebrating this Black History Month has allowed me to go into Scripture and see who I am, whose I am, and understand my connection to the source that keeps me healthy and keeps me whole. And doggone it, at 84, I can go out to the golf course and I can hit a ball 225 yards. Dadgummit.
Yes, sir. With no ailments, nothing.
And I'm not sick.
You're not. Yeah, you can do it.
And I don't look like I'm broke down.
Right. You're only 2 years older than me. What you talking
It's
about?
because I've come to understand who I am, whose I am, and how to walk in the truth and the understanding of what that is, because he's given me through his mitzvot and his teaching wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. Oh, let me read it for you. Let me read
Where
it
are we
for you
going?
going out. Devarim chapter 4.
Oh, beautiful, beautiful book.
Look,
Beautiful book.
I have taught you laws and rulings, just as Yahweh, my Elohim, ordered me, so that you can behave accordingly in the land where you are going in order to take possession of it. Therefore, observe them and follow them. For then all people will see you as having wisdom and understanding. When they hear of all these laws, they will say, this great nation is surely a wise and understanding people. For what great nation is it that has Yahweh as close to them as Yahweh our El is whenever they call him? Come on, man. Shut the front door and drop the mic.
And that's our problem. We don't know who we are.
Shut the front door and drop
And
the mic.
we don't know who to call on.
When I am in distress, I call on Yahweh.
Yeah.
When illness comes over my body, I call on Yahweh.
And in that, matter of fact, and this is the beautiful part about it, is Most High has a specific name in that particular situation that you want to use. If I need some healing, it's Yahweh Rapha.
Rapha.
Yahweh Yireh, Yahweh provides. Just read the text, it'll show you who he
not
is.
Jehovah, Yahweh.
100%.
Come on, you all. If you listen to this, understand. We're celebrating our origin, our ancestors, Father Abraham. We're celebrating Moshe. We're celebrating the 12 sons of Israel. We're celebrating the prophets that have preceded us. We're celebrating great men like the opulent King David, who shall be our anointed king forever. Yes, I give celebration to the greats that have made their mark in this exile, but I don't forget from where I came.
There you go.
And to who I'm connected to.
Yeah.
Let that be your celebration. Let that be your song of joy. Let that be your hope. Because my hope and my eternal life resides in my origin of who I'm connected to and where I came from.
Right.
And where I'm going to. Oh, I'm going back to the land.
Yes, sir.
I'm going back to the place of my origin, back to the land. Well, this has been the Moray, Robert B. Holman Jr.
And this has been the Moray, Sean Appleton, and
We want to say to you, Shalom.
Shalom.
Peace.